I got to lean in.
What is going on, everybody?
Oh,
It is
Lord.
me again. It is time to lean in, bitch. Jamie, what's going on?
I'm good. I'm happy to see you on
Are
time,
you sure?
like
Because
I was.
your face just gave like you just saw something
Not for
very.
you. Wasn't for you.
I don't think he can even hear you. Look at him having low
Okay,
budget. Take a good look
Lord,
at him.
Lord,
Child,
low budget things, low budget life.
that is what it is. But anyway, we're here to talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I think Chad, can you hear us, not Chad?
I can hear you
No,
now. Can you hear me?
we can hear
We
you
can hear
just
you.
fine. Can you hear us?
Unfortunately.
I can hear y'all too. Jamie, don't start.
He
Hey,
already
baby, how are
started,
you?
child.
So good to
He was
see
mean mugging
you.
you something serious when this damn thing came
Don't do
on.
that. Don't start.
I can only
There's a
imagine.
special place in hell for a
I
bitch
Listen,
can
like
only
you.
imagine.
I'm like Whitney. I just want y'all to figure it out. It's not. I'm
Figure
in
it
the
out.
middle. I'm in
I
the
feel
middle.
horrible about this.
No, what's going on to the chat? Taylor, JP Rob, let us know if you're watching right now. I know Salt Lake City is still, well, Salt Lake City is a big show, but I will say, a lot of people were turned off from last season, so the viewers are kind of slowly coming back, but it's still a good show. We're going to be every Thursday to finish it. I don't think it's going to be to the level of like Dubai, because, I mean, not only do we have a following for it, but it's a pretty good show. So, with that being said, go ahead and hit that like button. It's going to be a good show. Episode 3. I forgot what it's called, but myself, Chad, and Jamie are going to get into some things. Antonio is out as he just got back from his birthday trip. His birthday was Tuesday, and I know he saw a lot of the wishes, so thank y'all for wishing happy birthday on the page. All right, so let's get into the episode. Last week, we finished off. They are in Scottsdale, Arizona. Love Scottsdale. I know you two weren't here last week. Antonio was, so we talked about it, but we ended. I want to ask y'all first about the situation with Whitney. In the episode, Whitney starts to talk about her at the table, her situation, and she finds, she has, I guess, a memory of possibly being abused. She says that she felt like it was true, but she wasn't sure because it was so pushed so far back in her mind. So, how do y'all feel about this whole? Because this was episode 2, right? When this came out, was episode 1.
It was
So
episode 2. It came out
yesterday. So y'all didn't
2.
speak on it, right? Neither one spoke on it.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie, give me your thoughts on how she presented it, how you feel about it, and just overall this whole storyline that she's kind of bringing to the forefront.
Shit like this is always tricky because sexual abuse and abuse in general is a really touchy topic. Obviously, you never want to say somebody. I would hope nobody would ever lie about childhood trauma like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Whitney, she can be a bit theatrical. So okay. I would hope that, well, not that I would hope that it was true. I would hope that she would not be lying about this for TV, because that conversation she had with her husband, that felt genuine to me. That was his first time hearing this. And her reaction felt genuine. Now, the conversation she had this week, maybe Chad.
Okay.
I'm with Jamie. It's definitely a tricky thing to speak about because you don't really know and you don't want to invalidate someone's experience. But with Whitney, she's so over dramatic with everything else as to where I'm like, I don't know, Heather's reaction to her saying it kind of just gave me a little pause because Heather's normally very fair and level-headed when it comes to a lot of stuff. And Heather kind of like just finding out about it, and Heather's reaction to it was more, for me, it just kind of gave like I feel like Heather is even like wondering just how traumatic this experience was, or if it's exactly what Whitney is saying it is. So I feel the same way.
I mean, there was a point where she, from what we saw on camera and what she told her husband, she said her brother told her about it. But when she relayed the story to her friends, she said she discovered it through her healing. So that was kind of a little point of like, well, hold on.
All of Whitney's stories are changing. They're all changing. All of the stories. One thing happened. There's reality, and then there's Whitney reality, and that's I just don't know how she gets the things out that she says. So we're gonna talk about it, but I definitely agree with you on that. When we talked about it last week, Chad, I said it was something about Heather's response that gave Like, I feel like she would know. I don't know to what close cousins they are, but I feel like that's something that she would possibly have known. But then again, it's very possible that she doesn't. So I don't know. But that did, in the way that the camera panned to her and they kept like, focusing on her, it gave like it was something there,
Yeah.
And like Taylor said too, we spoke to last week with Antonio, it was vague. Even in the moment at this table when they weren't asking her to talk about what happened. But when they was asking her like more questions, she was like, "Do we really got to talk about it?" It's like, well, you already brought it up. I don't know. It's kind of weird with stuff like that. Like, don't open the floor if you don't want to open the damn floor.
Yeah. Because
and
the ladies,
she wants to put everything on the table all the time now. So put it all on the table, girl.
And clearly, their reaction felt genuine. Like, regardless of where she stands with them, like you could clearly see that it shook Meredith, it shook Lisa, and Lisa's notorious horrible at acting, but like she looked like those were real tears. So you could tell that they were feeling for her. So I would hope that I'm gonna take this at face value. I hope that she genuinely is getting the help that she needs, because I mean, sexual abuse, particularly in religious families and religious communities, like that shit is prevalent, and it's not talked about, and it's swept under the rug because people in religion feel like, oh, this could never happen, they could never be, because they're an upstanding, pillar of the community. So like, I know plenty of people in my life in the church who have been abused. So I would hope that this is not something that is further in the storyline, because that would be fucking shitty.
Okay. So, after she shares that, she talks about vulnerability, and she basically says that, she's very vulnerable. She feels like when she has something to share, she should get it out. She gets it out. And so she turns to Meredith, and she doesn't really say their name, but she's like, it's easier for me than it is for other people. And she's obviously talking to Meredith and Lisa, because she has this info in the back of her mind, right? And so Meredith and Lisa have a conversation. Lisa, she apologizes, and Meredith is not really here for it. She does not care. She's just like nailing her to the cross, telling her, yeah, you apologize, but do you really feel like you did something wrong? They're even in the confessional, they asked Lisa, was she lying? She said no, she was not lying. She said it was the truth. So that's one thing there. And Meredith says, I never confided in you because I never truly trusted you. And when she said that, I'm like, well, ooh, that's very strong, because it's like, we thought y'all were the closest of friends, but it sounds like you always held something back. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess you did find out you had a reason, I guess for it, but in those moments before this person did something, it's like she was always expecting her to do something,
Yeah.
Maybe she always saw Lisa for the person that she is, or, could be. And so Heather interjects and basically is telling Meredith, like, Meredith, I think you're being a little too hard on her. Like, I think that you should learn how to forgive. You've basically forgiven other people for other things. Why is it so difficult for you to forgive, Lisa? And Antonio and I talked about this last week. I think we said, like, it's something about your close friends that may be a barrier, right? But Meredith kind of goes off on a tangent by saying that, okay, well, listen, until you get the help that you need, and I'll help you with that help, this cannot be a friendship. And Heather's like, oh, no, let's not diagnose her, which Lisa then uses as ammo as well, and feels like she's being talked to by a medic. And so basically, it just kind of goes back and forth. What took me out is that Lisa was like, I'm not going to slip my wrist for anybody. And Meredith said, are you kidding me? She freaked out. And was like, oh my gosh. She was just going out. I was hollering. I'm like, there's nothing that
Meredith has clocked
Meredith
the fuck in.
Will not tick Meredith off. It's just like, it is what it is. So what are y'all thoughts? Do y'all feel like Meredith is being too hard on her? Or do you think that she is well in her rights to kind of stick it to her and not be so welcoming and so easy to forgive her?
I think that Meredith is doing the right thing by the way she's carrying on with it, simply because, like y'all said already, they were friends supposedly. But to go back before that, I honestly, even from season 1, I know that they have always said that they were like the best of friends, but for some reason, their relationship didn't translate as like the best of friends. It translated to me like they were like really good friends and they've been friends for a long time. Yeah. But I don't feel like their interactions were ever like bestie. Like I never got
There's
that
Whitney and Heather, and then Lisa and Meredith were not that.
Yeah. and I never really saw it that way. So when Meredith made the comments about she never fully trusted Lisa, I kind of was like, I get it. I kind of understood where she was coming from. It was kind of a harsh thing to say or for Lisa maybe to realize, but I kind of understood where she was coming from. But as far as Meredith, the way she's carrying on about it, I think we have to put a lot of stuff into perspective with it because for one, this was all caught on camera, like literally all caught on camera. The whole world saw it. And we heard the things that you said. And on top of that, when it goes to, Meredith forgiving other people, it's like, true enough, Jen had, her stuff that she did or whatever with Meredith's son or whatever, but a lot of the stuff still could not be completely 100% proven. Like, Lisa, you put yourself in this hole with your own words, your own actions on TV, on national TV for everybody to see. And it's like Meredith has a lot of stuff playing in her head. When they did the flashback of Lisa saying, oh, yeah, I did it because, you talked shit about my house. It was like, girl, you said all this about my family and about me because of I said your decorations and renovations were ugly. So I kind of understand where Meredith's coming from. It's like, no, like I'm going to give it to you as long as I can because all the stuff you said would never amount to the things I could have possibly done to hurt you if that's what I did.
Meredith is doing her good lawyer speak because she was speaking in circles and confusing folks, and that tangent reminded me of like a closing argument in a court case. Like she was going off and I'm willing to help you but under these conditions and you have to admit that you have a problem, and that like Meredith clocked in this season and I love it. I can't tell if she's being too harsh or if she's kind of hamming it up a little for the show, because you also have to remember in the real world, when you have a rift with somebody, particularly a good friend, you don't have to see that person. You don't have to speak to that person. You can remove yourself completely until you're like good with it. They went into production how long? 3 months after the reunion?
Yeah.
They jumped right into
3 months. Filming? It was like, you said the reunion? No, it was like the next
after
month.
the reunion aired.
They started
they literally saw the whole season and only got like a month and a half, 2 month break at most. Because they filmed the reunion and it came out like half a month later. So like in the normal world, if you have to be face to face with a bitch who ran you low on national TV, like you're not really quick to make up with her. I think who was it? Heather said it best in her confessional. At this point, Meredith is looking for anything that Lisa says just to stick it to her. She's going to be upset no matter what. And I think she's well within her right. Like, if one of your really good friends, regardless if you're best or super close, if they talk shit about you like that on a public forum, it's going to hurt more than a passing acquaintance that you haven't really fucked with. So,
yeah.
I don't know. And Lisa's fucking annoying. Like,
yeah. Well, Whitney, you got this is what's bothering me. We're going to get into it more. Is that Whitney and Heather are just like, I side more with Heather. I think she's a little more level-headed in most situations. I don't agree with how she forgave Jen, after she called her a manatee, Honey Boo Boo, Shrek, all that. I think it was a bit much. But I hate that they're like trying to pressure Meredith to get get over it. I don't really.
They're producing at this point. They're producing.
But it's just like, okay, how many times is she gonna say to you? Because she's saying honestly, I'm tired of seeing Meredith say the same thing over and over and over. That she feels like Lisa does not regret what she did. So until she feels that she is regretful for what she said and did, then she will move forward. Hey, there's nothing they can do about it. I know they produce it, but it's becoming very repetitive, and it's like.
And it's probably pissing Meredith off even more. Like, do you want me to get
I'm
pissed
surprised
off
it hasn't, because she's not really lost her cool. She's kind of, if you notice, like she kind of sticks it to Lisa, but she's very calm. You know what I'm saying? She hasn't spazzed out until she said slit her wrist. That's no time she had on.
Well, and she did the same thing last year with Jen. Like, she didn't forgive Jen right away. It was a whole year. And they didn't make up until literally the very end when the writing was on the wall and she was like, shit, like, Jen's legit going to jail. And I think Chad made a good point. Like, even at the reunion, she was like, he couldn't be 100% sure. So like there is, and being a lawyer, Meredith probably looked at that and is like, okay, I can't condemn somebody if I can't tell beyond a reasonable doubt that they did it. Lisa was caught in 4K.
Yeah.
I feel like ever since we discovered last season on the lean with Salt Lake City that Meredith was a lawyer, like everything makes sense now with what Meredith does and how she reacts to stuff. It's like, oh, I get it. She really, I feel like Meredith really reacts to everything like a lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay. So to close out this little scene here at this dinner, which is still the first night, Jen says that there are much bigger things to argue about, like her. She didn't say this, but in other words, like her ass about to damn near go to trial in jail, than to be fighting over this and rumors and stuff like that. She's like, y'all, I'm about to go to jail. Y'all fighting about this, child, please. So, and it comes back up later too. So we'll keep going.
She was so mad that those ladies were not focused on her that weekend. Oh, she was so mad.
I can't wait till things get heated for her because I don't like this whole kumbaya Jen.
I don't like this Jen.
It's not authentic, honestly. That's why I don't like. We know what the real Jen is capable of, what she does. So let's just be clear. But in the next day, they're getting ready to go on this paddle tavern and this little, what do you call that thing they did that Lisa playing with the
I don't know what it's called.
Horseback riding in dresses. I don't know what it's called, but they get ready for that. And so in preparation, Heather sits down with Meredith. This scene actually took me out for the simple reason that Meredith was getting her hair done, and every time the camera panned to her, it went from up to one side down, all the way down. I was hollering, like, look, I just knew every time it would go back to her, it was a different piece of the hair that was done. I was like, yes, baby, you better be in glam. But Heather talks to Meredith, and Heather says that Meredith is coming off as condescending and superior, and she's not really sure, like, what will it take for her to move past it. And she says that, again, that she's given others more grace and that she should be open to what Lisa has to say. How did y'all feel about what Heather said?
BS. She shouldn't be. She should. I mean, she definitely read her and said how she felt about her and how she felt she was handling everything. But it was going in one ear and out the other, because at the end of the day, you cannot force somebody to want to hear somebody out if they just not in that space right now. And it's like, you should understand that, Heather. Like, as a grown woman, you should understand that.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Heather doesn't understand it. Because if I was Meredith, I would have said, just because you want to forgive somebody that dogged you out on national TV does not mean I have to forgive somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're two different people.
Heather is the wrong person.
Right message, wrong message.
Because she gets drugged through everything by anybody and she forgives. Like, maybe that's the Mormon way. I don't know. But I just feel like she just lets folks run over you. All you gotta do is, like I said last time, is feed her, and she gonna forgive you. That's what it seems like. And I stand.
Well, and they're conflating forgiveness with getting back to where you were. I don't think Meredith is like harboring resentment or anything. She's like, okay, whatever, you're sorry, it's done. But I don't want to be friends with you, and that's fine. Like, I don't have to fuck with you right now. I'm in a situation because I signed a contract.
And she told her the night before. She was like, I appreciate your apology, but we are not at a point of resolve. Like, that's just what it is. And that, to me, that was as honest as you could be.
That's fair. I mean, what more does somebody need to say? It doesn't make
Lisa seemed fine with it.
She ain't fine with it. She really, I mean, she ain't got no choice now, because Meredith told her last week. What she tell her last week? What she tell her? What did she say last week that when she walked off, she was like, I mean, I'm being honest. What did Meredith say after the little shaman event? Remember, she said something. I can't think of what it was, but it was along the same lines of how she said tonight. I never fully trusted in you. It was the same type of like, damn, like basically. Oh, she said that you are not a safe space for me. That's what she said last week. Right. So in her saying that, she's already kind of, that's what it was. Thank you, Robo. Not a safe space. This week, never truly trusted in you, baby. Those are very firm words, very firm statements to say.
Yeah.
So, hey, she's letting you know, I don't think it's gonna be easy to get back on my good side. But in light and fun, they go to this pedal tavern, and they're like, they're having a good time. I've done those things before. I don't do all that on the pedal tavern, especially.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Don't nobody pour wine on my, Buja J, whatever. But Did y'all have any thoughts on this whole thing? I did love that Meredith and Lisa were throwing drinks on each other. Like they was like it was given bitch. Like, it was like they was playfully doing it, and I'm surprised that both Lisa and Meredith participated because they both are really not the most fun girls. Like they both are very reserved in their own way. So any thoughts on the Pedal Tavern?
No, I thought it was fun. It was very interesting. I think Whitney was the one who said they were passively aggressively throwing the wine on each other.
Yeah, she did. She did.
So yeah,
and
it was
she hit that on the head.
It was.
I'm not surprised
that
I howled because, like you said, Meredith is not known to be like, she's not going to throw her hair around like Whitney and Heather. So there's a shot from the top of the pedal thing where all of them are like dancing and throwing, and like Meredith is in the down corner, and you see Meredith, and she's just there, and she's going like trying to like.
Yeah, she's just like, trying to stay in the groove, child. But
can y'all just let that lady sit down? Like this is not her thing.
I mean, the fact that they all had wine and liquids on them, hey, I guess they had a good time. I do feel like, I don't know, Whitney upside down on that thing. I don't know.
None of it.
I'm sure there was maybe some kind of odor on there. I don't know. It just didn't seem too sanitary. I'll just say that.
Some type of odor.
And I know that poor driver was pissed. Like, I have to wipe.
No, he really wasn't though. You see him in the front.
Wipe this shit down. No,
in the front, he was just like this. He was like, I was like, look at the driver. The driver was just, he didn't care. He was just having a good time.
His business getting some publicity. He didn't care.
Yeah,
very much. Those things are a lot of work. We have them in Austin, and we went on one of them. And after about 30 minutes, I was like, "Girl, can we go park somewhere?"
I did one for my mom's birthday in August, and we did it for around Atlanta. It was fun. We didn't pour drinks on each other. Actually, it rained, so it didn't really work. All right, so then they go to the second activity, which was like, I guess I'm gonna call it, like I said, horseback riding in dresses. I don't really know. It was varied. I love the presentation of it, but I didn't really understand where it came from. It's something
they didn't do a good job of explaining the cultural significance of that. And the ladies were trying to explain, like, this is where it came from, and a lot of this. And the editors were like, yeah, no, we don't care.
Lisa, I want to
hear it.
I think Meredith said, like, Lisa, she just wanted to show off her Dior boots.
Exactly.
She did.
Exactly. So there were two conversations that were going on. One with Heather and Lisa, and one with Meredith, Whitney, and Jen. So within Heather and Lisa's conversation, Heather just talks about her talking to Meredith on the night before, kind of saying that, like, how she should move forward. Now, in Meredith, Whitney, and Jen's conversation, Meredith doesn't feel, basically she's talking about how she doesn't feel like Lisa thinks she did anything wrong. She feels like Lisa is not remorseful, and she may possibly very much so do it again. And Whitney speaks out. She says that she doesn't want to hold her to the cross, because there's also like the girls have been having gossip about her, basically knowing that she don't want to be like doing that to her, especially the fact that her and what's her name, Meredith, have had conversations and spreading rumors about her. So she speaks on it, and Meredith says that she did not spread the rumors. She said that she had a conversation. She spoke loosely about some things that were going on.
That's lawyer talk.
That's lawyer talk.
Right. That's lawyer talk. Because she didn't spread it. She goes, there are rumors.
Exactly.
Maybe that's lawyer talk.
Exactly. And she says that they were, loose rumors, but she didn't spread them. And she says that, but Whitney says that Meredith came to her with the rumors. So, what are y'all thoughts?
Whitney she don't mind. That's all I can say. Whitney does not mind at all, just saying whatever comes off the top of her dome. She can, I feel like even if Whitney remembers exactly how it goes, she's gonna say how she thought it went. Like Whitney's just a loose cannon when it comes to like remembering anything or saying anything. I was just like, Whitney, like, they're gonna eat you up at this reunion when it plays back, and we all see that that's not how it happened, sweetie.
Chad, do you remember when we were recapping the first season and the second season, and we said, like, Whitney's messiness was entertaining at that point because she always kind of is the one that she was very much charade. She's going to say, this is what you said, and remember you said it, and we're going to put it out in the open. But there was going to come a point where it was going to get exhausting because she was going to get too big for her britches. and she was going to become messy as fuck. We are in the eye of that right now.
Yes, we are.
Girl, you sat up there, and as soon as Meredith said, I heard rumors that she does favors, you said, what did you hear? Because I heard she's sucking dick.
Literally went into detail.
Whitney, that's how it went.
She really did. No, really. She really did. And it gets worse later.
Scenarios in her head to how she really feels it goes. Meredith should have been like, I don't want a conversation with you until you get help. My God, you're the one that needs a therapist.
Well, that's why I wish she really was thinking to, hell, forgive Lisa.
Oh.
Get Whitney ass. I'm sorry.
I thought that viewer that you just posted said Tasha K. I was like, I do not want that on the live.
No,
I need no Tasha K on the live.
Not Tasha K.
I'm about to turn her in. You owe somebody $5 million.
I ain't trying to get the lawsuit that Tasha K got. This is Tasha.
I don't want none of that.
Tasha is good with us.
Welcome, Tasha.
Tasha's always in the comments too. I always see her. This is her first time catching a live. So welcome to the live, Tasha. I see you all the time. We always communicate with you in the replay videos in the comments. So shout out to Tasha C. But yes, Whitney is an attention whore. She's looking for. She is. She's producing so badly. That's the problem. And it gets worse. So, they ride the horses. Heather, it's so important to see her stroke, get on that horse. But I actually cackled because they had to literally put her on the wall to get her on top of the horse. But she finally got on the horse. I said, thank God, because I thought she was going to fall. I did too. And I felt so bad for them. I know that horse was like, oh,
please.
I'll just leave it at that. So, later that night, they get ready for the garbage whore lingerie party. This is something that Jen thinks she's planning. This is her second little event that she's planning while having to owe her mom $1 million. And so,
and she had glam and everything. I was like,
glam and body.
She really thought she did that with the theme, with the name.
She really, you know what? I applaud Meredith for not getting upset. I feel like Meredith would have been like, "This is not okay. This is not okay." But she really wasn't. She came. She was badly dressed, but she had her I love New York hat on, which I felt was a slight little.
She's being just as shady. She knows where Jen is coming from. Jen is being shady.
Who do y'all think was best dressed?
Best dressed?
Yeah,
Mary.
Okay, well, who looked okay?
I mean, Jen looked okay.
Mary.
She was bad built, but she looked okay.
Oh, that I have never seen a corset fight so hard for its life to make a shape where there was none. Like it was Potter's hands.
It was cinched really in, but it still was boxed. It was very
well because she doesn't have hips or legs, so it's all.
Somebody in the
she looked like a. You know what you?
She looked like a white refrigerator.
Yeah.
Lisa
the little
said,
funnel,
Lisa said
the funnel that you like put in your car.
Refrigerator, not a black one. It was stainless steel white.
Oh God.
The one that's in her house that we talked about.
The rental.
Oh my
God. Yeah, and Lisa, you know what? I can't stand when somebody does not follow suit. Like she could have did something. At least Meredith tried with her patent leather tights and that little bustier, baby. Them little nuggets was just she pushed them so high up to give us a little effect. So I say, you know what? She tried, but I would give best.
Meredith gives glam, not slutty. Meredith gives glam. In confessional, not reunions.
Heather looked fine. I mean, Whitney was just naked, I guess. I'm not surprised. Is what it is.
Whitney bending over in front of that oven and still no cakes coming out. I was like, it's all shoulder blades. What is happening? It was a sight to see.
All right. So after all this, all the girls are coming down. Whitney is still kind of pressed. She's still like, that Meredith, she said that Meredith came to her and, she really wants to tell Lisa. And she says that she wants to mend their friendship. She want to get it all out. Heather tells her, I don't think that it's looking that way. If you do that, it doesn't look like it's coming from a genuine place. I was like, listen to your girl, Whitney. It's supposed to be listen to your inbred cousin. Listen to her. And so, they move over and they start the salmon and the steak. Whitney and Jen go to the side and they're making like the steak or whatever. And so Whitney asks Jen, she says, did Meredith talk to you about any rumors? And then Jen said, yes, but she came to me. And I'm like, okay, Jen trying to clear her name. And so after that, Meredith walks up. And so, Whitney tells her what they're talking about. Meredith is cool. And Whitney is just saying that she's in the middle because of Meredith. And then Meredith was like, what are you talking about? What are you saying? Like, how are you in the middle? Blah, blah, blah. Meredith says that, okay, well, Whitney, you had a lot more to say than me. And so they showed this clip. Now, in the first time we saw it, it didn't give us all of these details. It just said that she was doing favors for some tickets, some jazz tickets.
Yeah.
But then in this actual clip, they mentioned Angie H, which we're going to see later this season. And they also mentioned that it was, I guess she did some sexual favors, head job, whatever, for some damn seats at the jazz, whatever it is, jazz theater festival, whatever it is, something about the jazz. And so
the Utah Jazz.
Right. And so Whitney says, after Meredith says that she brought all that to her, Whitney says, that doesn't matter. Who cares about that? Like, that doesn't matter. I'm like,
she said that's not what we're talking about.
That's not what we're talking about. And so Whitney gets upset and she basically, wants to tell Lisa. She storms off and she's just like, I cannot and I will not. And I'm just like, okay, Whitney's drunk. We've seen her drunk. She's drunk.
Sloppy drunk.
Thoughts?
At that point, that's when the show turned to comedy for me, for me per se, because I knew where it was about to go. And Whitney, from that moment, she got on my nerve for the rest of the entire episode. She had already been getting on my nerve, but at that point, it was like you said, we realized she was drunk. And I was like, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, and it came. Whitney just is a loose cannon. Like she's one of those, she's really giving me Jen Shah season 1. Like the way she reacts to everything. Like she just goes over the top, over and beyond. And it's not cute because she could be so much better as a housewife. And she just makes herself look a complete fool. Especially, like I said, once we get to the reunion, I just wonder what she's going to say when they recap everything.
Yeah. She reminds me, do y'all remember Leah from New York City, her first season where she was drunk and would just have meltdowns? Yes. Whitney, every time Whitney gets drunk, reminds me of drunk Leah, where it's just shit coming out. She got on my nerves so fucking bad. And I'm surprised Meredith did not get more upset than she did.
That's
Meredith
what I'm saying. Meredith has been very calm.
Meredith, I'd be like, the fuck are you talking about? The only thing I could think is Meredith, being a lawyer, is going to be like, bitch, they're going to air this shit out. They're going to show the footage.
Just shake her. Just
they're going to show the footage.
Be like, girl, what are you saying?
I don't have to do anything. I don't have to get mad at you. They're going to air the footage to how it went.
Sometimes when you know that you're right and you know that, like, I think that Meredith was like, I'm gonna just let you make a fool of yourself. That's like did. Meredith. Yeah, the way Meredith handles situations a lot, it's like it always kind of comes back around to where it's like, I see why she acted this way, and I feel like Meredith played it cool because it's like, okay, we'll see.
Yeah, okay. And she did play it right because when Whitney had that whole meltdown, Meredith was able to slide in and be like, hey, I want to be honest with you. I did say some stuff, but I never said this. I only said I heard rumors. I never said anything about it, so I'm good. And let Whitney paint herself to be the bad guy. Like,
well, but the truth is she did. Like in that scene, she did. What Meredith says in that scene was that, she's talking about me when she has her own things that are out there that I've heard about. And what did Whitney do? Whitney said, well, no. I've also heard this and blah, 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 from A to Z. She went into depth. She went down into the gutter with it.
But Meredith played it cool. Meredith didn't say what rumors she
very much so.
Favorites don't have to be sex.
Yeah, it's very much so the person that talks and you sit there and you like, you let somebody put themselves in a damn hole. You let them kind of dig themselves in deep. And that's what she did, I feel like.
Yep.
Okay. So after she storms off and damn near breaks the door, trying to slam it with her panty and bra, she goes to the table, tells everybody to shut up, and goes ahead and spills the truth. Tells Lisa that Meredith came to her about rumors. Lisa is like, "What are the rumors?" And then Heather's like, "Y'all, let's eat." Whitney's like, no, I have to get it out. So she tells her, and Lisa's like, are you kidding me? That's disgusting.
That's disgusting.
Wait, but Lisa's first reaction when Lisa looked at her and said, I'm so confused.
Well, then Whitney says, I can't, I don't want to say the name. I guess maybe they edited it out or she couldn't say it. I don't know, but she was so confused when she said it. She was like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, wow.
That reaction.
But Lisa's face, though, when she did get it, she was like she was so shocked. Like, she was so shocked. And so she goes to this whole moment. She says it's disgusting. And she is just like, does it feel good now? Does it feel good? All I have is Jack and John and my kids. And I ain't gonna tell you, I hollered when she got up and ran out that kitchen.
Hilarious.
She said, I gotta call John.
I gotta call my husband.
Call John. I fell out. That she was trying to compete with Kaya from Amsterdam, but she's not gonna beat that.
That's exactly what it reminded me of.
She's not gonna beat that, but it's a close third. I'll say that.
I love it.
She told Meredith, don't patronize me.
I don't think she fucked around for favors. Like, she may have paid people off. Like, I think Meredith was smart when she said, I heard she does favors, because she knew messy ass Whitney was going to be the one that would put that shit out. Meredith is smart. Meredith is extremely intelligent, extremely slick. I don't see her doing this stuff in season 1 and 2. I think Lisa really took her there. And now she's like, all right, cool. I told y'all to leave me the fuck alone. I told y'all in the season 1, don't make me angry.
He says Lisa never denied it, though. Well,
because she didn't have to. It's so ridiculous. Who believes that she's sucking dick for jazz ticket?
For some jazz ticket.
Who believes that?
So thus far, we had Kim Zolciak's daughter getting pimped out for John Legend.
Her whole daughter.
And now we got Lisa Barlow allegedly sucking penis or giving blowies, as Heather says, for jazz at the jazz festival or whatever they was
at the jazz festival.
At the jazz festival. I'm just lost. What's next?
I believe if there's like maybe financial trouble with the business or infidelity in their marriage, like I can believe that. But this is just, can you stock Vita tequila? I'll jerk you off in the stock room. Like, girl, who believes that? Vita ain't even worth that. Like, girl, shoot me a 20 and I'll put it on the shelf. Like, my God.
But it's Whitney. It's Whitney saying, what was that?
That's my
dog.
Yeah.
Oh, your dog. Hey, Ruigi. Dang. You want to get on camera?
Right. Playing with his toys.
What took me out to end the scene, too, was Whitney saying, this is retaliation. We are not a part of this. You two need to figure it out. I'm like, you just literally made it all about y'all. Y'all are the main ones telling them to make up. They're not pressing the issue. But Jen Shah, she fucking tried it. She made as Lisa.
She tried it. Yes.
She says,
God.
My family is literally all I have. My family, my kids, everything has been taken from me. Everything. And I'm just
this is the Jen I was missing. Here's Jen.
I literally said, this is very chaotic. My head is hurting. Like, to be filming in that moment, I would have been like, what the fuck is going on? What in the hell is going on? Like, you got Lisa running off in her pajama set. You got Jen pushed up like a push pop, crying, talking about everything's being taken from her.
And they're in a tiny kitchen. And so I know them cameramen are stuffed in there, just like, girl, what's happening?
It was, you know what I thought of that whole scene? Women.
Women.
I was just like, Mary Cosby would have said women. Because this is too much.
It was such an unhinged moment. Like, Jen literally, she couldn't wait to find a way to make it about her. I was like,
I'm so sick of it.
There it is.
I was like, Jen, are you serious right now? She really took it there.
Yeah, Jen, I agree.
For me,
I agree.
It was Whitney looking at Jen when they were having that fight. I think it was earlier, the first dinner. She was like, this was supposed to be about you. We were coming here for you, to support you.
Heather was like, this is about you. I'm like, these bitches are drunk.
Can we talk about Heather's? Heather's like the queen confessional for Salt Lake City, though. Her confessionals be having me falling out.
I agree.
She's hilarious.
When she started talking, when she started imitating Meredith, I was really dying laughing at her. Yeah, she's hilarious in confessionals.
She said, "For jazz tickets, I'll do it for a hamburger."
I love that Heather really plays into and thinks not that she think low of herself, but at least she's honest. At least
she's a good time girl.
Like I said, you gotta feed her. Nah, I didn't make that up out my ass. She said it herself. Feed her.
Yeah,
I love it.
Okay. So then after all of that happens, Meredith turns to Whitney and says, "You created all of this confusion." Heather agrees, but she sends Meredith to go clear up the confusion. So they send Meredith to Lisa's room. She goes to Lisa's room. Lisa's like, why are you in here? Get out. She's like, get out. You're not my friend. I don't want to talk. You're not my friend. You're not my friend. You're not my friend. And so Meredith walks in. It's like, let me just tell you one thing. And she says that, I did not spread those rumors. And so Lisa storms out and goes to Whitney and asks her about the rumors. And in Lisa's confessional, she says that, well, she may have not spread the rumors, but she participated in the conversation. And she still is guilty by doing so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. Just want to make sure. I want to ask y'all that.
I think but to say that, I think that Lisa is now trying to find any way to make Meredith I think because the way she came off was as if she was trying to make it seem like, okay, you said this, you're upset at me about all this stuff, so now I have a reason to be upset at you. And it's like, no, girl, don't try to make it that. I mean, Meredith, does have to take some responsibility for adding into it, but don't try to make it seem like it's equal playing ground now, because it's not.
Yeah,
it's not.
Because you took her there. You took her there.
Yeah, I agree. And so, just when you think it was just about over,
there's more.
Whitney turns to Meredith and says, "I don't like the fact that you budged. You budged. Like, you back down." She did. She said, "You budged." And Heather's like, "Whitney, sit over there and drink. Let it go. Just drink. Just let it go." And so she's, talks about that she budged. And Heather says, "Who cares if Lisa is a whore? Who cares if she's sucking dick for tickets? Like, why does that matter?" I'm like, Heather, oh my God, that's me. I'm like, who fucking cares? Like, at this point, it's not your business. You say you don't want to be a part of it, right? No. So then, after all of that, she says that she also told Heather everything. And Heather is like, "You told me. I don't remember that." And so she starts talking about when they actually went to one of the games and Angie was there, and that she said that she overheard it. And I'm not gonna lie, I hollered at Heather. Because Heather said, "Don't you think if I would have heard that, I would have wanted that ammo? Like, I would have."
She goes, "I would have repeated that the day."
I would have loved to have it.
Why I
we know. Heather. Yeah, and we know she would have.
Exactly. And I was like, this is real. And so Whitney is like, "No, you're lying. Like, don't forget about the time with the selfie." And Angie, what took me out, she said, "Well, you guess what? I didn't hear that fucking nugget." But fuck you. I was like,
chaos.
Literally,
I really hope.
What the hell?
I hope that the owners of that house that they rented have security cameras in there, and we're on their ring, just watching back video and what the hell is going on?
It was
so some big bitches yelling at each other.
Literally chaotic. I text y'all in the group after, because I think I may have watched it first before everybody, because everybody started to watch afterwards and update in the group. But I literally said this episode was so chaotic,
it's
literally chaotic.
But what took me out also is Whitney was saying, "Fuck me, please. I love to be fucked." I was like, yes. In my head, I said, "That Whitney, that you right about that." Me too, girl. But no, she's trash. Let's be clear.
Literally.
Oh my God. Baby. I want to know how long that they were filming, because at the beginning of this dinner, Heather was lucid. And then by the time they got to there, Heather's face was bloodshot. She was red. Hair was a fucking mess. Tracks were showing. Heather was lit at that point. So I'm like, literally, how long did this shit go on?
Well, you know what? I think I feel like you guys can chime in too. What triggered her was that, she may have felt like Whitney was she had already had, what I'm saying? She was a little apprehensive about everything going on anyway. She was trying to diffuse everything. It seemed like she really wanted to have Jen have a good time. And I think that, Whitney started to try to pull her into it. Like Whitney, she doesn't like to just go down and look stupid alone. She likes to bring in somebody else. She likes to put the blame. And I think it was very unwarranted for her to try to bring Heather. Like Heather's been the one person. She had many discussions with Heather about this whole thing, right? So we would have heard it by now. Like Heather is not mentioned, and I'm not saying Heather maybe didn't know, but like Heather said, I didn't hear it. Like, yeah, maybe I was there. I get it, selfish, yeah, but I didn't hear it. So I felt Heather in that moment. So
when Heather said, "How did you hear it?" You were sitting 3 rows behind us.
My point, because Whitney, Karen ass sitting up close listening.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's Angie H. Let me see what she got.
Heather's the MVP because
they had a little exchange last night on Twitter. I think
Heather and Whitney.
No. Angie tweeted something and Whitney retweeted and said, "Because you lied."
Oh my God.
Wait, Angie said something and Whitney said she lied?
Angie said, where is it? It's right. Because Angie, mind you, Angie hasn't tweeted since 2021.
Well, she's coming back soon.
Since her last appearance.
She said, "Not sure what I did to deserve that betrayal at Whitney Wild Rose. That sucked." And Whitney responded, "You lied. That's it."
Oh. So
she retweeted her and said, "You lied."
Now, I wonder, are they going to snatch Angie H out again like they did last season? Last season, she was supposed to be on a little more, but child, they snatched her out. So I'm just curious.
There was a nugget that was on Twitter earlier today that said that supposedly producers are waiting for Jen to go to jail to bring Angie on full time. Okay. I don't know how true that is, but it sounds like it could be true.
Well, my thing is she has a lot. She's been on a lot of the mess over the last 2 seasons, and
even when she's not on screen, obviously.
Yeah. So her and the other girl, they come in at some point, but especially with this,
Jesus, Angie is going to be chaos if she's full time. Jesus.
Yes, complete chaos.
Because then by the time she comes on, apparently she's going to be feuding with Whitney. Like, what the fuck?
And so I didn't see go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say the one thing that I really, really enjoy about Salt Lake is these ladies, they don't really make any qualms that their friendships are not real. Like, they may call each other friend, but it is very clear that it is a working relationship.
Yes.
Because the way that they
yes, in a heartbeat.
will flip in a heartbeat and drag somebody into mess is entertaining. Where the other ones, they Whitney and Heather at that point were really the only ones that had like a true like friendship. My God, I was dizzy at the end of this episode. It was so much. I was dying laughing. Like
the episode was so fulfilling that I didn't even realize they didn't give us a preview for next week.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, did I miss it? Because I recorded it, and I also watched it on Peacock.
I know the editor was tired at the end. The editor said, "You know what? This is what they get."
It was cool. It was entertaining. But I'm not gonna lie. Like Whitney, she's draining. Like I don't like when producing is so apparent in my face, and it's like it's not even working. Like I can even take Kyle's producing sometimes, but damn, Whitney just it's because once she's drunk and then she's like young and her voice, it just makes it so unbearable. Like her voice in general annoys me.
Somebody on Twitter earlier said Mary Cosby was right. Whitney's annoying. And I was she really did.
She always been annoying.
I liked Whitney first season. I feel like she was like, a bone collector, bone carrier. She was cool. She did it slight. But then starting season 2, and then now like it's this overkill. It's like she knows that she's on this show, and she doesn't even make sense when she's talking. Like she sits in her confessional and says, we got to talk about it. And she says that it's she don't want to be in the middle, but you're putting yourself in the middle. It's just literally weird. Like. How old is she compared to the rest of the? Is she like
she's in her 30s.
Yeah, she's in her 30s.
She's in her 30s. She look every bit of it. But she produces like Kyle and is messy like Lisa Rinna. And that is a horrible. At least Lisa waited until like her 4th or 5th season to get fucking messy. Whitney is on it. Like I can guarantee.
Whitney's 36, so the closest person to her age is Heather.
She may be 36, but she's still a little girl to me. Still, Arlene said, always be a little girl because that's what she talk like, act like, and honestly, all I see is little fun college girl just having a good time in Salt Lake City. That's what I see.
And that'd be fine if you didn't involve anybody in it. You're on vacation. You should go and have fun. You're allowed to get drunk. But when you get drunk, like, baby, you stir up shit and then you try to absolve yourself. When the shit that you stirred up is shit that you initially started to begin with.
You want to get drunk. You should. No one wants to be around that person that gets drunk every time. That's always emotional. That's always, fight. Like that's what she's not fighting. She's not fighting, but she is emotional. She makes up stuff. She slurs, and she just looks like the way that Mary Cosby looked at her last season when she looked up and down. She looks like they're like, what is this in front of me? It's a drunk mess. That's what I see. Yeah. And this is not the first time. It constantly happens. It's probably going to happen again. I just really want somebody to hold her feet to the fire. Hopefully somebody gets her. I'm not saying make her cry, but definitely break her down because she needs it.
She cries every 5 minutes.
She has not been handled. And until she gets handled, she's going to keep on doing it.
I think Heather being the closest one to her, it's going to be Heather that gets it together. Well, like I don't know. I'm interested to see what they're going to be like. Like I said on the first episode, what they're going to be like on Ultimate Girls Trip because this was filmed concurrently.
I think their beef kind of carries over into that.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'll be back with some tea on that. I have some tea, but I'm trying to wait to keep it out.
Okay. When is the Ultimate Girls Trip coming out?
I don't know. But they are doing, from what I'm hearing, they are gearing up for promo and stuff like that soon. So I don't know. I'm not saying it's been released soon, but their promo, their confessional looks, all that stuff is what I'm hearing is happening soon. So
Portia and Candace did a little live or an Instagram or something together earlier today. I want to say they're looking cute, looking real pretty together.
Yeah, I saw that. All right, we got one caller to get on, and it's going to be one of my favorite callers. I don't want to just say that because I don't want to say like nobody's my favorite, but I do enjoy Nisha. What's going on, Nisha?
Hey, Nisha.
Hi, Nisha.
Hey, I want somebody to either whoop Whitney's ass or make her cry.
I say make her cry. Because whooping her, she does get pushed. She gets pushed into the wall later this season. I think Heather Heather goes what? Heather's a big girl. She kind of pushes her. So
Heather is a man.
Oh,
you know what?
Now, Nisha.
Heather is very handsome. And very big.
Lisa is problematic.
I don't care.
I can't do this.
I don't care.
I was not there for that nugget.
I didn't hear that fucking nugget.
I wasn't here for that fucking nugget.
Every time Whitney starts some shit, she always throw in the middle. I don't want to be in the middle of this. And I don't like she acts ditzy, like she don't want no problem. She don't want any commotion, but she is the one that's making the commotion.
Yeah.
And Lisa, honey, she's so happy that she heard that today. That's just like, yes, I got something to get her back with. Like, oh, you were talking about me too. It's not the damn same.
Not the damn same at all.
And when they did the playback, she even said, like, oh, I heard that she was doing favors. That's absurd, isn't it? She didn't really drag it out.
Yeah.
You got on there.
She knew she didn't have to. Whitney was going to do it.
Exactly. But this her thing to hold on to. This is her thing. So that's going to be carried out for the next couple of episodes. The reason why she want to make her forgive her. Because you said some things too. And Jen Shaw put on her Erica Jane hat tonight. So everything's been taken from me. You stole it.
Yeah, well, everything's been taken from my old people too.
You stole it and they stole it back.
He stole it back.
I don't have anything but my family. That's the only thing that you didn't steal the money to pay for. So you get to keep that.
Somebody on Twitter earlier, they said that she said, I'm fighting for my life, and they responded, no, you're suffering the consequences of your actions.
Right.
I think Jen got a little bit of I think she thinks she got a little bit of white privilege because that's how she speaks.
When she speaks
like all of a sudden,
she speaks like a white lady.
Because she was a woman of color. She was a woman of color in season 1.
Yeah, but since she caught this case, she's been doing the like white lady sympathy card.
She hasn't tanned.
She's been doing the white lady sympathy card.
She go back and forth. She like Ashley Darby. She go back.
If I was her lawyer, I would advise her to put whiteface on for court. So that works. But but that's it, you guys. I love y'all. See y'all. Good night.
Bye.
All right, our next caller is going to be. Oh shoot, I messed it up. D. Hey D.
Hey.
What's going on?
Hey.
What's up? Yeah, I just wanted to hop on here real quick because I just want to talk about how fake Whitney is. I do not.
Wait, is this the line? Is this?
Yeah.
No. Okay. I'm no. Only reason I said that because I recognize your voice. But yeah, keep going. I'll say it at the end. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Yeah. I just want to talk about how fake. I just want to come on here real quick. I want to talk about how fake Whitney is because I've never trusted Whitney. She gives me snake vibes, and yeah, she's definitely stirring up shit just for a storyline.
I agree, but do you like? Why do you think she feels the storyline benefits her?
This whole thing about like her trauma and all that stuff. This whole thing about her trauma and all that stuff, like, girl, that's bullshit. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say you don't have trauma, but come on now, like, you don't remember. How you not remember your trauma? How you? Is it even physically possible to stuff things so far deep in your brain that you can't remember it? That don't make sense. That makes sense to you?
Did she say what age it happened?
No, I think so. I don't think it's not that it doesn't make sense. What I feel is what she's trying to say, and which I think she's articulated kind of poorly, is that she may have she when you're younger, you have things, you don't really know your childhood. You know your childhood, but there's certain things you may not remember. And a part of her feels like she remembers being abused. However, she doesn't know if it's true, if she just made it up in her head. I understand what she's saying. I can't relate, but I mean, there are things. Go ahead.
So you think she actually remembers her trauma? Because it sounds like what she's saying. She doesn't.
I think she remembers it. I think she knows about it. I think maybe she just may be kind of adding a little sauce for the camera. You know what I'm saying? To make it seem like it's something she may not remember. But I think it probably definitely happened. I just don't think she's articulating it well and how she's presenting it. That's just me. I don't know.
Or maybe she don't know the details.
How you not know the details? Don't make sense. That's your story though. That's
like maybe she don't. I'm saying maybe she don't. I'm saying maybe she don't know the
people
details.
People suppress memories.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like sometimes we do suppress things because it is trauma, and at some point we can be like,
damn. But not completely forget though.
That happens. That happens. It's well documented among particularly young children and victims of sexual abuse. Where I mean, at that age, you don't know what's happening to you, so it's compartmentalized. It's well documented.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just seemed weird. I don't know. She gave me snake vibes. She gave me I need a storyline. It's giving dramatic.
I mean, you know what? Outside of that, she is stirring up all the shit. I don't know. I don't know why she even needs to add an extra layer. Maybe they fuck
out of Heather. She really tried to throw Heather under the bus for a storyline. Like, girl.
Yeah.
You're one ally.
Right. Like, she's gonna turn into the next Lisa Barlow because Lisa Barlow's fake as well. Like, they're gonna be the two on this show that are really gonna go under fire at some point. Like, for real.
And now they're a double duo. They so close supposedly. So we'll see.
Lisa and Whitney.
Yeah, Lisa and Whitney tweeted earlier because BravoCon is going on or whatever, and I guess one of them went without the other, but Whitney tweeted, "Wish we were on the same plane together going to BravoCon. Can't wait to see you." And I was just like, "This is so fake and phony."
Who?
Yeah,
gave Heather the black eye.
That's what I want to know too. I can't wait to
get that. Did Whitney pop Heather?
I don't know. It's looking like child. They want to make it look like it.
It's giving that bitch fell and hit her eye on something. Like, that's what it's giving.
What if it was Portia? What if they filmed Ultimate Girls Trip in the middle of this?
Not Portia,
and then she came back.
Portia wouldn't have hit Heather. No, Portia wouldn't hit Heather.
Baby, Portia will hit anything with a pole.
But that's a different conversation.
All right, we got one more call to get on, okay?
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right. All right, our final caller is going to be, we went from D, now we at M. Hey, M.
Hi, everyone.
What's up?
Hi, how are you guys? It's been a while.
It has been a while. How you been?
I'm good. Well, I feel so bad for Lisa. Like, I know, like, the things she said and, like, to Meredith was awful, but I, I just think Meredith, she's just so vile. She has this thing about, like, if you do me wrong, I'm gonna do you wrong twice. You know what I mean? This attitude, like, it's almost like I have to make you suffer. I have to, like, if she would have just been like, we're not friends, we'll never be friends, that's one thing. But that dangling the whole I may or may not forgive you situation to Lisa, I think that's so unfair. Like, and also, like, the thing she said, like, she's like, oh, I don't like that you involved my family or my children. I'm like, she just involved, like, I know it was mostly Whitney, but she involved her marriage, her business. She really went after her business by saying Vita Tequila, like she's sleeping around just to like get people to put it in their stores or in
Well, she
their
didn't say she was sleeping around.
No, she said she was sleeping with people to get her to help her.
She didn't say that. She
money.
said she heard that she does. She never said sexual. She goes, she's doing favors to get to Vita Scott.
No,
favors could be monetary.
Whitney
not. Was the one that said
those
sexual
favors. No, those favors were clearly implied that it was sexual.
But as an attorney, she did not say
it doesn't
favors.
But if you look at, if you just say things like there are things about her business and her marriage.
Oh, I'm not
and
disagreeing.
She's going around. No. But the thing about it is, lawyer or no lawyer, like you still have to look at what the context of the question. I mean, the sentence was. She clearly knew the rumors were about her doing sexual favors to help her business. By whether she just because she didn't use the word sexual does not mean it was not implied. I'm not a lawyer. I did not study law, but clearly anyone with a half a brain, I know Kyra's like the only lawyer, but anyone with half a brain would have known that that's where she was going. To the point where she mentioned these, not only did Jen and Whitney both, like they both said, oh yeah, I heard about that rumor about her doing sexual things to help her business. You know what I mean? She said enough that, she wanted to, like, I want to hurt her, but I want to come across as like covering my bases, being like, I could have said this, but even with the clip they clearly showed that she was fishing. She went in there, she made these little hints, these comments, and she wanted to see who bought. And let's be honest, Whitney bought. She did, because that's how Whitney does. Whitney is the person that if you give her a little bit, she's the one that she's too much of an idiot. She'll like go out and she'll find this information and then she'll bring it to everybody else. She's always been that person. And I do think I will say that I am like, I don't like what Whitney did, but I'm glad that she realizes that, she was being set up. Let's be honest, she was being set up.
You think Whitney was being set up?
100%. Let's be honest. Meredith is a smart woman. She knows that if Jen was not dealing with other stuff like her trial and her impending lawsuit, I think she would have done what Whitney did. Picked up that little gossip and spread it, because let's be honest, Jen was not in a good place with Lisa. You know what I mean? She could have easily done what Whitney did and bit the little thing and said more stuff. And let's be honest.
But who set Whitney up? Herself? Whitney volunteered the information.
Yeah,
she did.
When Meredith said, I heard there's favors, Whitney could have said.
I think the thing is, I think her and Meredith. No, because I think her and Meredith had conversation maybe last year about this, and she's bringing it back. Like I just think like the fact that this obviously these rumors have been around for more than a year, maybe even two. I think she knows these women, they probably had these conversations before off camera. Now she's bringing it to camera. Let's be honest. Meredith is smart. Meredith's not and let's be honest, she's like a mastermind with a bunch of idiots. Like, so she brought it enough to them that she knew who was going to bite. That's why she didn't go to Heather. Because if she went to Heather, Heather would have been like, nope, not dealing with this. It's not my business. I'm trying to build this friendship with Lisa. She knew the two people who had the weakest relationship with Lisa was Whitney and Jen. She knew if anyone was going to bite, it was going to be those two. That's why she didn't bring it to Heather. That's why she didn't like, she's not an idiot. But I will say this. I feel so bad for Lisa because let's be honest, on national TV, Meredith was, even if she did sleep with half of New York, her and her husband were separated, okay? Separated with possibly getting a divorce. They were both dating around. So it's like, that's why her husband's like, I don't care about that conversation because the truth is we both were separated at that time. And what we did was your business. It wasn't my business to ask or do anything. He was dating people. She was dating people. Jen season 1 actually told everyone that Meredith was sleeping with other people and dating other people. So I don't know, this idea like Meredith is like, oh, I'm insulted. I think it's less about her marriage. I think it's more about her children. I think her children are completely and utterly like offended and hurt that these comments are being made about their mother and father.
I also think, so you use the words for Meredith as vile, and I feel like we have to keep in mind that while Meredith may be a manipulator and maybe doing things,
I think her actions are vile. I don't think it's her as a person is vile. Thank you for correcting me, Dad.
But even the actions, though, I don't even know if I could look at her actions as vile. I do think that I can agree because I do like Meredith. I'll be front there. Meredith's my favorite on the show since season 1. I do think that just the fact that she plays a different game from the rest of the cast, I think it may make her come off, and her actions may come off as vile. I think that when we weigh
she's conniving.
Yeah, I would say conniving.
I think what I mean by her actions are vile is, let's be honest, her children are adults. 18, 19, 20 is adult.
Yeah.
Lisa's children are minors. They're
still her children, though. They're still her children.
No. But a 10-year-old is different than a 20-year-old. You can have how do you explain to a 10-year-old that there's these gossips about you cheating on their father, sleeping around? That's not, doing favors for someone like a prostitute. This is a prostitute conversation.
Okay, so we're gonna.
Children are older. You can have a logical conversation with your children and be like, these are rumors. They are not true. Me and your father are united. It's a different conversation to have with a child versus an adult. And just so you know, school-age children, it's a lot harder. Your kid's like, he's either going to middle school. Middle school is brutal. They will torture this poor child just because of comments that I don't even think they're probably not even true. Because when Rita came out, it was an instant success because it was tied with that whole Sundance, right? It came out.
Mm-hmm.
They did, because of the show, the business has gone better. So when were these times where she was doing these favors? The gossip makes no sense.
Okay, and we gotta let you go. Okay, we didn't went over on time. All right. I appreciate it. I'm sorry to cut you off, but very valid points. I got to laugh some. Okay. Thank you. Okay, Em. I think she has some very, very valid points.
Yeah.
True. I don't agree.
Right. I don't agree, but
I don't agree.
I like the other side of it.
Yeah, it was a different perspective, for Lisa and Whitney. Me personally, how I am as a person, you do wrong to me. Of course, I'm going to probably try to do wrong to you, and probably 10 times. I don't really care because you shouldn't have did it to me. And that's just how I am as a Scorpio. I can't speak for everybody else, but you got to be careful what you do, because when things come back on you, they just come back. It's like karma, baby. You just can't really stop it. It's what it is.
Yeah, I just didn't agree with the Meredith's actions being vile, because it's like, while she may be spreading or assisting in the whole spreading of Lisa's business and all that, at the end of the day, I feel like Lisa's actions were actually vile. They came from a gross place. They came from a disgusting place. And the whole kid thing, regardless of how old your children are, this is still someone's mother. This is still someone's children. Yeah. And you don't know how they're going to take it or whatever. And, dealing with, like how she said, the kids, they go to school with these teenage kids. Being an adult in college, these kids can still get bullied. So to me, it's the same thing. Like, people's kids deal with things and deal with trauma the same way. So if it was if somebody was to talk about my mama right now, I would still feel away.
Yeah.
They should, what let me say this real quick. Her kids, Lisa's kids, should be embarrassed for what she did and what she said and what she does. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They could be getting bullied for her actions, for the things that she's been doing. regardless of if Meredith has strike back, just her going to their whole rant, people may come at her kids for that, like your mama this, your mama that. Like it's just there's so many ways and so many levels people can get bullied or attacked, especially at the hands of what their parents are doing. Just being on this platform puts them at the exposure of being bullied. So I don't really think Meredith coming back and saying possibly a rumor about these things and cheat. I don't really think that would affect any more than the show probably already has. I mean, look at what's going on. Look what happened with Garcelle's child. Look at what happened to him. You know what I'm saying? It was like awful. Yeah. And she did nothing, to Diana other than nothing really. So
literally did nothing.
So it's a double-edged sword. Jamie, what were you gonna say before we leave now?
I forgot, but really quick, I'll text it to you. There is a picture from BravoCon or a pre-party of Kathy Hilton leading a massive conga line with Ashley Darby, Teresa Giudice, and Whitney Rose. And I want to be at that party. Okay. Kathy Hilton is the doll of BravoCon, and Lisa's mad.
Okay. On that note, we're gonna lean out. Very great show with myself, Chad, and Jamie. Thank you to our callers. It was D, Nisha, and M. Very good commentary. Very, very valid points. Welcome them all, whether I agree or not. I like for people to come on and call, and not necessarily challenge us, but also give a different opinion. Because personally, I ain't seen nobody in the chat, defend Lisa or Whitney. But hey, they do have fans. There's somebody out there for everybody.
Everybody.
We're gonna lean out, like this video, and subscribe. We'll be back Monday for Potomac, Tuesday for Meredith and Medicine, Wednesday for Beverly Hills, and then next Thursday, same time for Salt Lake City. All right, like this video, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Okay. Good night, y'all. Peace.